Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this month's color combo challenge. This is a challenge that Gareth Freer and I started almost 2 years ago, and we have expanded on it, and we have some other lovely artists that are with us each and every month. And those are, of course, Gareth, who is at Created Home with G here on YouTube. And then we have the lovely Angie, who is Rags, Tags, and Confections. And then we have Miss Crystal Cleveland, but she will be out for a few months. And then we have Mr. Tony, who is Kate's Crafty Cottage. And so we are so excited to have everyone in our group. So below you will find their videos linked in the description box. So please go over and check theirs out as well. Just a reminder though, over at Created Home with G on Facebook, you can make your color combo challenge card for the month, and your name will go in for a drawing for a goodie bag. And now this has nothing to do with your card and what it looks like. It has everything to do with just the luck of the draw. So without further ado, let me tell you what the colors are and what we're doing this month. So our colors were chosen by Mr. Tony over at Kate's Crafty College, and he chose pink, yellow, and orange. Now those are some of my favorite colors together, and you can do just about anything with them because they're so versatile, and because they're on the same side of the color wheel, you can blend them all together and you won't make mud. So let me show you what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this sun stamp here from The Light, which is from Fun Stamps Journey. And my friend Cindy Tenuta gifted these to me for a long time ago. And I'm also going to be using the stamp He is the Light. I need to make some inspirational cards, and I decided to make these mine just because I love the way they come out. Then I'm going to be using some of this linen cardstock. Now this is cardstock that I got at least a year or 2 years ago from Dollar Tree. This is really nice cardstock. It's 250 GSM, and it worked well with watercolor. So I'm going to be using that, and this is the linen color. And then I'm going to be using just some of my palette watercolors. And I don't remember where I got these from. Probably Michael's, but I don't know. I've had them such a long time, but I love them. And I'm going to be using some Dandelion Memento ink and some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And we'll probably use some foam tape. And then, of course, I'm using watercolor brushes. These are the ones that have, the water in them already. And I'm using a ivory cards base here, and this just is regular 65-pound cardstock, and I can't remember the name of the color, but it's kind of an ivory color. So I'm using this. It's going to be a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card, but I'm going to be opening it up on the side, so the top of the card will be 5 1/2, and the length of the card will be 4 1/4. Then I just cut my linen paper down to size. This is cut down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Now, I will give you a hint if you're using this linen type card from the Dollar Tree. The side that has the most texture to it is very shiny. And it will work for a lot of things, but it's not that great for watercolor because the colors tended to slide off. So the other side is a little bit smoother, and it just works better. So that's the side I'm going to be using. Now to start this card, I want to make like just the sky lit up in the background with the sun coming up. And so when I look out at the morning sky, I always see this bright pink and orange starting at the bottom of the sky and working up to a more yellowish orange pink color in the top. So that's what we're going to start with. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to put a little drop of water into a couple of my pinks and into my orange and my yellow. Okay. And I think I got enough water in here. So I'm just going to blend this around, mix this up a little bit. Now, I love my Kate watercolors. And if you didn't know, you should let them stay open and dry completely before you close them up. they tend to do better. Like I said, I've had these a long time, and I've had no problem with them. So all I'm doing is starting at the bottom, creating the base of my card. And I want it to be just a little bit darker down here at the bottom. And I'm just blending these 3 shades of pink. One's more of a fuchsia color. One's more light pink. But it gives me a good blend of colors. And then I'm just going to go on up until the paint runs off my brush. Okay. And give that a moment to dry and wipe my brush off. And then I'm just going to dip into the orange. I'm going to go with the lightest orange first. Well, actually the second lightest orange. And then I'm just going to dip a little bit into the very light orange. And then I'm just going to go back and through here and just hit some little strokes like this. And then I'm going to take my other brush that I haven't gotten paint on yet, and I'm going to blend this into the pink and then bring it up. The thing I love about watercolors is it's so nice. You can layer colors on, and when it dries, you can go back over it with another color and it will stand out. So that's the process that I'm going to be doing. Uh-oh, lost top. So then I'm going to go back down here and take a little bit more pink. And then go back down at the very bottom. And just highlight that a little bit. Wipe my brush off. Get some orange. And go up my page. Going side to side like this creates a little texture. Then I'm just going to take a wipe and I'm going to wipe some of that off. So that's what we have so far. And that's what I do. I go all the way up my page like that. Just creating some texture. But I just remember I want my heaviest color down at the bottom. So I'm going to thin this out some. What? My brush off, and then I'm going to come back in with some orange, and I'm going to use my light orange. And if you notice, I'm doing more colored, saturated colors to the middle, the sides instead of the middle. And that's because I'm going to put the sun in the middle, and I don't want it to be so dark. Okay. So I am about done, I think, with this. We need to let this dry just a moment. Like I said, I love mixing these colors together because they're complementary colors and they don't make mud. Take my towel and wipe this stuff off the mat. Okay. Now we're going to let this dry for a few minutes, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use some yellow and highlight some of the white spots. But I'm not going to do that until I stamp the middle part of it first. So we're going to let this dry for a few seconds. Okay, so our card base is pretty dry here. And I'm just going to take some of the Dandelion Memento ink, and I'm just going to outline the edges of the card with the yellow. And it just kind of adds some brightness to it, plus it takes away that white edge. Whoopsie. Okay. Now we're going to use our stamp, and we're just going to stamp the yellow on the card. Figure out which way I want the sun to look. Okay. Make sure I get all the little rays covered up. Alright. So down here in the middle of the card where I just left it lighter, I am going to stamp the card. So I'm just going to hold that really tightly there for just a second so the ink can transfer. See how pretty that comes out? Now I am going to wipe my stamp off. And I'm going to take my fine tip brush here, and I'm just going to go into the yellow, and I'm just going to go into the light yellow. And some of the white spots on the card that doesn't look like it has a lot of color to it, I'm just adding in some yellow on top of that. And then I'm going to take my rag white stamp and I'm just going to damp into it. Just add a little bit of background color to it. Add some of that yellow back in on the edges. So that the sun is radiating a yellow color. And I'm trying to stay away from the ink where I stamped it because you definitely don't want to mess up my stamp. Okay, so that's what we have. So now I'm going to move my watercolors to the side, let them dry. Now I'll show you my sample card that I did. On this one right here, I left the inside blank. I stamped His a Light at the bottom, and I stamped it in yellow first, and then I went back over it with a tuxedo black, and so that the yellow would highlight the letters. And I think I'm going to do that again, except I think I'm going to put it in the middle of the sun this time. So even though we're not going to be able to see the yellow, I want that little part darker. So I am going to add the yellow to it. Now this is the little trick to get it all lined up here, and I'm not using a stamp positioner. Okay. Now, you may not be able to see it, but I can see it. So, wipe my stamp off. And then I'm just going to stamp it again in tuxedo black. And all I'm doing is just lining my stamp up the best that I can over that. And it really does not matter if I don't get it exactly right, because it's very light to begin with. But it shows up, it kind of outlines the black, and you can see it better when it dries. So wait, clean my stamp off. Okay. Maybe my brush is out of the way. I am going to take just a little bit of orange and a little bit of pink mixed together here. I'm just going to blend it a little bit over and under the sun. And then I'm going to let it dry. Then we're going to take our card base and we're just going to outline it in the yellow as well. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is put some foam tape on it. And I am going to put quite a bit of foam tape on it because of the type of paper it is, the slicky part. And also, just because it was not specifically watercolor paper, I want it to lay flat. So I want to make sure that we have every little area with tape so it'll lie down. And I'll come back and fill in the middle in just a minute. Okay, so you see I just put some on all of it. Then all I'm going to do is open my card base up because I want to center it right. So I'm just going to center this. Just my eyeballing it. And see, with the foam tape on there, it lies flat. And then that is our card. And here is my sample card with the one on the bottom. So that is it. It's very simple, easy card. It's just a little watercolor and some ink. And let me know which one you like, in the sun or even off to the side. So now, if you would like to create your own pink, yellow, and orange card, please remember to go do so, and don't forget to post it over at Create at Home with G on the Facebook group page. I think he has a pinned response that you can go in and pin your card to. Alright guys, until next month, I'll see you all later. Don't forget to check out everybody else's videos. I know they create some amazing cards, and mine was kind of simple, but it was just what I had in my heart to do. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell when it comes up. Alright, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all soon. Bye!